from everything for a while. I went to go work on a and live for about a year in Humboldt County,
Yeah.
up in Northern California. I
Yeah.
worked on a regenerative farm. I learned a
Dang.
lot,
Dang, dude.
and that's part of why I changed my name.
Yeah.
I kind of moved from music and then started like exploring the world a bit, and I really like loved what I saw. So
Okay.
it kind of changed my life a bit. But I during that whole time I didn't play video games. Internet was spotty out there and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love Overwatch. I never stopped loving it. I was watching streams every once in a while.
Yeah.
But what originally I still like that question because I remember what originally got me into coaching is just passion and it's just come naturally to me. Like I want
Yeah.
to get better at something. Um, just the competitive, the competitive realization of your own deficiencies.
Sure.
It results in you wanting to do something about it.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, good to see from you. Good to see you again, man. It's been a long time. It's been like 4 years,
Yep.
something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
All
Been
right.
2 years, 2.5 maybe, or
Only
maybe
two and a half.
three.
Okay. Okay. Man, time goes
Maybe
by.
three. You may be right. It's been a long
It's been
time.
a long time. It's been at least 3. I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
'Cause
Okay.
honestly, I probably have like gone through a few breaks since that coaching session. To be honest, that's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you went off. You took a break from internet. You came back. I would ask you what your history with Overwatch has been, but I'm pretty familiar with a lot of it, right? You were
Yeah.
on a Zen player, right? Do I remember correctly?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
you got to what? Did you get to GM or did you get to Masters? I can't
I
remember.
got a master's. I peaked 3980.
Ah, no, no, that's terrible. That's terrible.
But
Okay,
yeah, that's how it is. That's how it
it is
is.
how it is. Okay, okay, okay. And then what got you back? What brought you back around to Overwatch again?
Well, honestly, I was watching someone play Overwatch, and it actually looked fun.
Ha.
I was just watching. I think it was ML7 play, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, support looks pretty impactful right now, and
Yeah,
Um, also the game looks pretty cool with the one tank and all that stuff. That was like my perspective at the time.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
and I just I kind of basically so once I moved back from farming, now I'm studying biology part time and just
Nice.
working. So as a hobby, I just got back into Overwatch
Sure.
pretty easily to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Old habits die hard,
and
right?
Yeah, it's actually I actually really excited too for the at least the near future of Overwatch. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I think for anybody who's played a lot of Overwatch 1, I think Overwatch 2, the changes were, outside of some of the monetization and the cosmetic changes, which are kind of annoying, but I think the game itself is pretty fun. The matchmaker's a little messy, but it's been pretty fun. Okay, so,
Well, also, it's cool with fresh eyes. I would say. I guess maybe you're about to start talking about
no,
learning
you
and
go
stuff.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, it's cool to see the game with fresh eyes.
Yeah,
I would say that's one of the things that's benefited me the most. Coming back, at first, everything feels clunky because you're used to doing everything automatically and smoothly in your own head.
right.
But um, the fresh eyes have made me, I think, better than a lot of other things in terms of like
Sure.
I'm now more conscious. I'm trying. I used to, because Overwatch is like this, like in a meta sense, has this like min max like dichotomy thing
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
like tactical plays. Um, you can end up autopiloting, and you just, for me, I have pretty good mechanics, and so when I can do this thing where I autopilot and I don't understand why we're losing the game because it feels like I'm hitting every shot and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
the truth is I've been AFKing around this corner, staring at my tank, staring at this other tank, also doing nothing and not really
Right,
looking
right.
at what's happening in the fight.
Right, right, right. I think one thing that's definitely changed with Overwatch 2 is that it requires a little bit more proactivity from your supports. I mean, that was always a good thing to do in Overwatch 1, but it's not even a good thing. It's necessary, right? And you can see that with Kiriko, obviously, but even going back to your old hero pool, Anazen, still really
Mhm.
important.
Well, I'm playing a lot of Zen. That is true. I'll say
Okay,
um
okay. Makes sense.
true.
Makes
I'm
sense.
not sure I bring him out in this game.
Sure, sure.
'Cause doesn't have the fancy stuff that it would
Yeah,
have if it was
I
free
got you.
play.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I like what you were saying about the fresh eyes too. You know, something about like taking a break, and pursuing another life pursuit, and then going back into something old. You like it like gives you like new insight almost. I don't know if it's like something directly that carries over, or like your just brain is matured doing other things. But it's a really cool thing.
I will say, at least in my case, I do know. I do know in my case, my brain is definitely physically actually has matured.
Okay, good.
I'm actually I actually get CAT scans. I get once a year. I get a CAT scan.
Nice.
It, and it's because basically I have ADHD, but I
Uh
have
huh.
like physically present. They're able to more physiologically diagnose it. And
Yep.
basically my frontal lobes just evolve at a slightly not evolve. They grow at a slightly slower rate.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
maturing super late in my life,
Yeah.
but like a bunch of things have suddenly become so much more easier. So it's awesome.
Sick. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how large
Yeah.
is your head going to get? We're talking like balloon size, just gonna keep growing and growing, growing.
I don't
Megamind.
know if I was genetically blessed with that much air in my head, but we'll see.
Okay,
We'll see
we'll
where I can
find out,
go.
I guess. Okay. All right. So goals here: want to reach Masters, GM level, play more organized Overwatch. Brilliant. All right. So I guess here's a question for you: where are you at in terms of training time right now? How much are you able to play on the average day, average week? What do you have a warm up routine? Fill me in on all the details of that.
So I'll give context. So a week before I had played Overwatch like competitive ranked
Yeah.
probably for about a week before I requested this class. Um and I was like definitely I was like and it was actually a good decision by me in hindsight because it was hard for me to tell if I was if the passion I was feeling was just like oh I'm like back
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nostalgic and all that stuff or if I were like really just still passionate about the game.
True.
And I was right.
Good.
I'm still passionate about the game at least. And at the time, I was like, I was just in plat. Um, and basically, what I do, here's my routine. It's pretty simple. I wake up um, on days where I don't have to open, pretty much, or I don't have work.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the days that I work out and do my hobbies. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
And that's usually about 4 days a week, 3 days a week. It's
Okay.
been pretty good lately.
Okay. Sounds good.
Um, and those are like 4 days where I can play Overwatch for 10 hours a day.
Okay.
Those days.
Okay.
And what I do is I'll usually I have a routine, a personal routine that's kind of separate where I work. I like to work out in the morning.
Okay.
I like to eat and all that stuff and make breakfast. It's a recent life change. It's just really important to me. Ever since I worked
Sure.
in that farm, I realize now. Um, and I do Kovacs.
Yep.
I like Kovacs just because it's something regular. I can compare myself to other people and
Sure.
it warms me up basically. And
Sure.
then I do some try hard free for all or widow headshots
Sure.
for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And then I try to hop right into queues.
Okay.
And I usually queue. I might change this, but I usually like because I was eager to get getting my ranks and placings. I was just queuing damage and support over and over.
Yep.
'Cause it takes a long time with the current season 3 like system for it to like oh this is like your actual rank. This isn't like a
Yeah.
playtime thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
your real rank right here.
Right.
It takes it a while. I might not still be there. I'm pretty sure I'm there though. I've played like 30 games. I'm now like Diamond 4, Diamond 5.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty accurate. I think I would say I'm a diamond player.
Okay.
At least I don't feel as good at the game as I was when I was
Yeah. Of course.
in Masters, definitely. So yeah,
Okay.
and
Makes
that I
sense.
want to get back to that. Basically, I want to get back to at least Masters, and you know,
Sure.
just want to see see if other people see the mistakes I make and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Makes sense. And how long are you queuing for? Once after we're done with the Kovacs warm up, try hard. How long are you queuing
So,
for?
I am I have a really really good mental. So I'm usually the type of person I can queue for 10 hours, but I don't
Yeah.
do that anymore. I like to
Okay.
do 4 hours. I will eat or I'll leave or I'll do something, anything,
Yeah.
something that's just not sitting down.
Yeah.
Um, and then I can go back. That's how I do it. I can queue. But yeah, usually it's about 10 hours total. I would
Okay.
say
Sounds good. Sounds good.
in
Okay.
a day.
So and then you said you're queuing DPS and support still, or was that just an initial thing that you're not doing as much right now?
Now I'm definitely doing more one queuing for like knowing what I'm gonna play.
Sure. Is it more like 60-40, 70-30, or
It's
where?
definitely 60/40 support. I'm
Okay.
more, even though I'm a higher rank currently on
Sure.
DPS.
Sure.
More passionate about trying
Sure.
to support my teammates and
Okay.
whatnot.
Okay. Sounds good. So let's talk about like some small adjustments I might recommend. How long are you in Kovacs and Tryhard?
Uh, full an hour
An
total.
hour
I'll say
total.
that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have like a long day of Overwatch ahead of you essentially.
Yep.
Whenever you're on those 3 to 4 days a week, whenever you're playing, and then you don't play in the days where you open.
Oh, okay. On those days, that's not true. I wouldn't say I don't play if I said that.
No. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I play about 2 or 3. That has a lot to do with how I feel. I'll be honest.
Sure.
After work.
Okay. Sure. I
But
got you. I got you.
but usually 2 to 3 hours is a much smaller
Okay.
amount.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's clean this up because you've got a lot of things that I think could be benefit from some minor adjustments. So first off, let's just go down the list in no particular order. In terms of warm up, you have a very very extensive warm up. Do you do that in the days where you don't on your work days as well? Do you Kovacs and try hard before you play? If you do those 2 to 3 hours,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
The Kovacs thing is more like it's a routine thing. I try to do it every time.
Sure. So I would, depending on how serious you are about like ranking up sooner rather than later, that's fine if you're planning on like a long day of Overwatch. You're just like getting your brain warmed up. It's totally fine. However, I would probably recommend on days where you're coming back from work and you're probably already a little bit tired, not spending that much time in the warm up. Maybe cutting that time in half. That way that you save, because the problem is that even though it's just a warm up, you are expending some energy there, and we want to try and be as efficient with that as possible. It's a big problem with like weightlifting, which you might be familiar with, is people that get a little bit too intense in the warm up sets. By the time they get to the working sets, they've already like expended like a good 20-25% of their energy to give a random number, and you don't want to do that necessarily on days where you're already pre-tired from work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Longer warm up if you've got a longer day and you're just kind of chilling with Kovacs. That's okay with me though. And then from there, DPS and support, like you said, you know it's not optimal, but if it's what you're doing and you're enjoying it, I'm down with it. What I would try and recommend though is being a little bit streakier until you get bored. So what I would say is try and play like, if you're gonna do DPS and support, try and segment them a little bit. So like have.
I'll be honest, I don't really like queuing them both. It was purely just that, I'm like visually I'm in plat and I want
Yeah, you hated being plat and DPS.
Yeah. So I just
you.
like queued them both until they both got like I got my DPS and diamond. I'm now not that interested.
Okay.
In,
so then I would lean into that. I would shelve it if you could. That would be optimal. But it's whatever. You need to prio, a role, obviously. And then obviously within that role, your form says Zenyatta on a Lucio, but we're looking at Kiriko as well. What have you recently been playing a lot of?
So I've been playing a lot of Zen, Kiriko, not a lot of Lucio. Even though I like Lucio, it just doesn't, I'm not at an elo, or people just don't seem to want that character. So I mostly play BAP, Zen, and Kiriko. Yeah.
Okay, that works for me.
And Ana sometimes, but most times I have it Ana. So
have you heard me talk about dynamic hero pools before? I can't remember.
No. Just tell me.
Okay. Basically, dynamic hero pools is just shifting your hero pool basically off of the meta or off of the patch. So for you, it's like focusing on 2 or 3 heroes at a time. And then if you're like, I really want to pick up Lucio this coming season, and I think Zenyatta's trash, drop Zenyatta, play Lucio. It's better to kind of focus on 2 or 3 heroes at a time, and then shift those heroes on a month-to-month basis than just to kind of broadly play everything. So if you really want to play Lucio, but you're gonna have to give up something for that at that point in time. Like even with the amount of hours that you're playing, if you really want to like get speed run to Masters GM, you're gonna have to do that. But that being said, you don't have to stick with that hero pool for a year. It could be a month, 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I just shifted off of that. That's a better way of learning it. Okay, moving on with the training schedule here. So you play for a long time on days where you don't have work, but you do break it up, so that's good. Here's my experience with this though. Most people, whether it's Overwatch League pros or just plats, bottom out at around 4 hours when it comes to intensity. So after like 3 or 4 hours of ranked, generally the intensity of the ranked, even if you take a break, isn't just the same. So what I would do is I'd put the first 3 to 4 hours of your playing at like topmost priority. You want to be warmed up, you want to be full intensity, have goals, have everything, and then you said you take that break, you eat, you move around, whatever. You come back, you play a little bit more. That second session is just not as important to me. In fact, I don't even care if you off roll, if you play DPS then, or you want to like queue on an
You
off.
know what? That would make a lot of sense to like play streak support during the peak, because that's what that's what I'm most interested in. And then wind down, with the last 4 hours, like play DPS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just play for fun, right? Queue quick play, queue ranked, whatever you
Right
want to
now,
do.
Widow is insane. So if you
Sure.
can aim right now, it's really fun to play DPS.
Yeah.
This is all the maps are just like first point holds.
Yeah, Havana and all that foolishness. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like that's what I would recommend doing. It's like if you want to play for fun, but there needs to be a difference between you're playing to train, which can be fun. It should be fun, and then just literally just playing for no goals, just to screw around, right? And what I would do on your days where you're working is understand that you only have so much energy to give. So what I would do is I'd short my warm up, and then I would play legit 4 games, 3 games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Full intensity. And if you still, like, I got a little time, I want to chill, okay, queue up DPS. But you understand that I'm going to pull the plug faster with the intense training because I'm already tired from work. You kind of see what I'm saying? It's about that mental energy you have to give. I mean, that's mostly it. I know that's a lot to consider, but I think you can make a lot of like adjustments with how you're approaching your training, which I think will have longer payoff. And then obviously we're going to apply for the rest of time. for as long as you play Overwatch, those guidelines will help.
Well, one thing you said that resonates with me for sure is the energy thing. Like you mentioned like basically in terms of like efficiency of energy, because I'm always as an athlete, like as a former athlete, collegiate athlete, I'm always looking at it like, how can I work harder? Yeah, nice. Football, yeah. And like I'm always looking at how can I work harder? Like how can I like you're always trying to push yourself. You're like, okay, like I'm not sore after this practice, so like I didn't really put myself, you know what I'm saying? Right. But that's not how it works mentally.
No, it's not.
It's not. Your brain does not appreciate the stress the way your muscles do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Different.
Exactly. And even physically, like coming from an athlete standpoint, because I'm still competing, like I'm doing flag football tournaments all along the East Coast and all that kind of stuff. And with all these like D1 college athletes that didn't make the NFL, they have to burn out the energy somehow. So basically, it's like I'm learning that like even with physical, that sometimes being sore isn't even necessarily a good thing. Like you want to push as hard as you possibly can, but like for example, like I know a lot of guys that like with like a lot of their sprint training and their lift training, they push to the point where like they're no longer giving it their best effort. They're just kind of going through the motions just to get more reps in, and it just doesn't matter at that point. Like you're not getting anything out of that at that point. Like you want to be as hard, as fast as you possibly can, and then you're done. That's it. And I think that applies to a lot of things.
I can get to a point where I'm wasting my time in Overwatch because I'm like way below. Like it's not even relevant. This is like the gameplay isn't even relevant to how good I am anymore. Because of how much energy.
I was always like a really fast kid in like middle school and early high school, but I actually got a little bit slower, like proportionately in high school because I played for I played a lot of high school football, and I played for like the old school coaches who I loved. But they was all about the work, push, win sprints, run, and it slowed me down because I would always try really, really hard, right? Even when I was feeling miserable, and my body just got endurance. Like that was just the priority for my body. I became almost like a marathon runner in that aspect, and I got a lot less explosive, a lot less powerful, a lot slower. And like you said, it's like it's not just about you're not giving it the same level of energy. Sometimes you can even train bad habits. You know what I'm saying? You train yourself to become, like you see a lot of these streamers, right? They stream for like 9-10 hours a day. They don't know how to give 100% anymore. They've trained so long because that's their job, right? They're streaming. They're not playing to win, right? But they play for 8 or 9 hours at like 80%, right? They don't know how to give 100% anymore. Not only are they're actively training the wrong thing. It's like a lot of these. You ever heard about like the Shanghai Dragons season 1 of Overwatch League? They do like the 6 scrim blocks a day, and yet they were just garbage, right? They're just garbage. There's a limit with which you push too hard and you're actually doing negative things. It's not even a neutral net game.
Because that makes sense. Because somebody said, I forgot who I was watching. Somebody was like saying, somebody asked some streamer about how good I think it was like Sleepy was, and he was like, Sleepy wanted like to be good at Overwatch specifically, like Sleepy wouldn't stream for you guys. You know that?
Yeah, exactly.
They'd do less. Like
exactly.
And he was just explaining like if he wanted to, he has been Overwatch League level, and he can be more than that. Like he's that good, but he's just it's all about
Of
like what
course.
you actually can do. Like
Of
you know,
course, of course. It's really
yeah,
easy to like aspire to be like a streamer, and a lot of these guys because they play for like 8 or 9 hours a day and they're cracked out of their mind. But
yeah.
there is still a like if there is still another gap between them and achieving pure excellence. You don't really want to play like a streamer. Now, streamers play a lot of the game. Playing a lot of the game is better than playing none or a little bit of the game. But at a certain point, the diminishing returns kick in, and actually, it's not good to perfectly replicate what they do.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll make sure I'm gonna write this down because I'll make sure I'll keep this. Cause
I mean,
this
I'm
could
recording
be,
this too, so you'll have
yeah,
something to go back and look at afterwards.
yeah. I know notes have been another big thing that's helped me out. Just writing shit down.
Yeah.
The act of writing it down is more important than the
Oh,
information
agreed.
that you're like.
Agreed. I swear there's a study somewhere that says like actually physically writing it down reminds you better. I still write stuff down. I do. I'm a fast typist, but I write stuff down that I want to remember. I have these notebooks I've burned through because it helps me to remember it better. Okay. Sleep looks good. 9 to 10 hours. You're crazy. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the athlete sleep. You know,
Never less.
I got you. I'm like, dude, I'm 8 or 9. I cannot do less than 8. I feel it in my bones if I get
But
less
like
than 8.
physically, like it's actually. I mean, right now I live alone, so
Yeah.
the idea of me waking up before 9 hours is just not even.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean,
Not even
listen,
possible.
it's good. Okay. Okay, last question here. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Routine, we talked about that. Mentality and understanding. Break down those two for me.
So when it comes to mentality and understanding, I just wanted to, because I'm actually coming back, and there's just a lot of things I don't understand about the game specifically. Or I'm not sure that I understand. You know, like, and if
Sure.
you're not sure, then you know that means that you know that you don't understand.
Yeah,
So yeah. So there's a lot of things I want to learn
I got you.
strategically. I want to also I had to write that down before I had actually looked at my own replays.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't
Yeah.
really, that's not the most informed take. There are a lot of, if I look based on my replays, there's a lot of, I could do this. Well, let's watch it. But I think that
Sure.
sometimes there are moments where I am doing the autopilot thing that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Well,
What is autopilot?
There are times where I don't have an idea. Then
Sure.
those are the times where I'm definitely like, oh, I need some guidance.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know.
That's where it's ignorance. But what is autopilot for you? What is autopilot?
Autopilot for me is so for example, I could do this thing, or maybe it's better instead of saying autopilot, maybe tunnel vision is another way they would point it out. I'll have an opinion on how we can win or an adjustment that could be made, and I'll hard focus on that strategy at the expense of a lot of like tactical plays I could have made.
Okay. Let me ask
Or
you
a
a
lot
question.
of,
Let me ask you a question. Is that necessarily a bad thing? That's a bad thing for winning that game. But think big picture. Is that necessarily a bad thing?
I don't have an informed opinion on that. To be
Okay.
honest. I don't know.
I appreciate the response. So you've played sports, right? You know how drills work, right? What's the purpose of a drill? A footwork drill for a receiver?
Well, you want to be quicker, but you also
Right.
you're practicing.
Right.
You're trying to get your footwork better.
Now let me ask you a question. If they incorporated throwing the ball at you during the footwork drill, right? You're going to be dropping the ball more often than not than you would if you were just running a route, right?
Yep.
Why?
It's basically a distraction from working on that thing.
Sure.
You're now working on two
Sure.
different things.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
like spread out.
So it's normal because you're putting more of your attention on the footwork than you are on catching the ball, right?
Exactly, yep.
So then do you see how this ties in with what you were just saying? It's not a bad thing. Tunnel vision is not a bad thing. It just depends on whether that's what you should be putting your attention to. In fact, here's the funny dichotomy. When people get coaching sessions with me, one of two things happens. They get confident and they play a lot better and they rank up. Or they get tunnel vision on what I told them to work on and they actually get a little bit worse. But both of those things are positive, if that makes any sense. So for you, if I give you goals to work on and you start, messing up other things that you normally do well, I don't care. Everything that we talk about with autopilot is about training that tunnel vision to make your autopilot better. So if you're tunneled on your positioning, right. So don't beat yourself up. Now, the only problem is two things. One, are you tunnel visioning on the right thing, the helpful thing? For example, if you're tunnel vision on you know, like you were playing into like a Rhine comp, right? And you're tunnel visioned on, I'm going to shoot the enemy Rhine shield. That's probably not the best thing for you to be tunneled on at that moment. That's probably like not a good thing to practice, right? Okay. The other problem is this: if you cannot turn the tunnel vision off. Like, let's say that you are, you get into the pro scene, semi-pro scene, you join like some small GM tournaments, right? And you're not playing to improve at that point, right? What are you doing? You're playing to win, right? So then you shouldn't be practicing anything. You should just be playing. But you can't turn off that tunnel vision, right? That's a problem as well. So this is where I'd recommend having like maybe 1 day a week where even during your first streak supports, right, you just play for fun. You just play to win. You just play, right? That's a good thing to do occasionally.
That makes sense. I also see how what I said is kind of contradictory, because if your autopiloting is bad and your tunnel visioning is bad, like you're mad at yourself for like doing nothing and doing things.
Right.
Anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's true. But the reason why that's bad is because those terms get thrown around a lot by even coaches that don't really understand what they actually mean and why they're actually important. Right.
At the basis of it, maybe in a sense, like I want to make sure that I'm putting my attention in the right place.
Sure,
you know,
exactly.
basically.
That's a great way of putting it. Let's actually make sure that we're being productive with our tunnel vision. You know, and when you go into the games where you're playing fun, how good is your autopilot? Right? Is your autopilot pretty good, or do you have any really big weaknesses when you're autopilot? Because like one of the biggest things that I as a coach try to do with London and other teams that I've worked with, like professionally, is when we got into a match, was to try and get the team to autopilot. At least to an extent, right? We don't want us overthinking things and analyzing and trying to, we just want to flow state, play to win, just chill. You know what I'm saying? You probably have memories of your best games where it just didn't even feel like, you just felt like you were just out there having fun and it just felt like you're dominating, right? That's kind of like, we want to be able to replicate that one too, but that's not learning. Ranked can be drill or ranked can be playing for flow state, one or the other. So you either need to know exactly what you're drilling. That's the productive tunnel focus, or you're just playing for fun, and that's where we build a better autopilot. So is that the mentality part of what you feel like is holding you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just there's a part I'm just insecure. I'm definitely insecure about my attention and focus about things. It's
Sure.
One of the things.
Sure.
And then,
Okay.
I said routine, mentality, and
understanding.
Understand. Okay, we already talked. Already.
Nothing else then.
Yeah.
Does that cover everything?
Things holding me back. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Because I feel like I'm doing good in a lot of other areas.
Okay,
so.
Love to see it. Well, let me get my end set up here, and then we should be good to go. So, guy got your stream pulled up, and so let's look at some Kiriko.
Oh, did it let you look at it?
Yeah, I can. I've got your Twitch stream pulled up right now, so I can. Actually, no. I'm on your Discord stream.
Got it. Oh, okay.
Unfortunate, but hey, it works.
I thought you checked it and it worked. Okay.
I gotta follow you on Twitch now. I didn't even know you're streaming now. All right, I gotta follow you.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm not hearing audio on my end, but that's fine. Can you actually do me a favor? So to close down your Discord stream. If you can.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah. And then don't stream your screen, stream window and select the Twitch window. And I think that's what makes the audio pick up.
Give me a second.
It's kind of annoying, but yeah.
Just gonna do that. Applications. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now I can hear you. And then just pull it up. And then we'll do it.
Oh, I forgot. I could pull really far. Oops.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna go forward. Here it is.
Work is never done.
We're looking at Anna?
Wait. Oh, 121.19. This is a map. Dang, I must have. This game happened fast then.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. You're good.
And on the same map.
You're good. Okay, what are the strengths of Kiriko?
I'm
From what
really,
you've seen.
I can't die. Well, I can't die, but it's really hard for me to die generally. I can get the high ground.
Okay.
I can, I can like put pressure on people's back lines.
Yeah.
By like taking off angles.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you know all the juice, right? You could take all these good positions, be proactive, all right. So let's just see what you do, because I think you got a good idea. Let's just see how we do. And you were a bit of a mechanics demon back in the day on Ana's end, so I want to see that leveraged.
See.
I've set the bar really high. You're in trouble. Huh. I don't know what your Winston's doing. Okay.
This is like my improvement arc, okay?
Yeah. That's right. Sorry, if you set the bar really low, it can only go up. Unfortunate on the Suzu. Obviously, it's not optimal, like your sightlines there, but I think your Winston was causing more harm than good, so I'm not going to give you too much of a problem.
I'm wondering in moments like this, or moments where I can't play around someone else, like on Kiriko, because I see there's like a play style where people will like instead of being here in main, like they'd be on like top of this red building, or they'd be up there on the right, like trying to get this Widow.
Right.
But I don't know if like I play it like it's so weird. I'm trying to like it depends on like how the people around me play, like how I should play. It feels a lot.
Sure. I mean, I hear that. To me, it's like a little bit of having your cake and eating it too. You know what I'm saying? Theoretically, if you're playing Kiriko right, you could prioritize healing when you need to heal, and also look for opportunities to go aggressively. Or so, like, if I were to ask you, so far in this VOD, have you had an opportunity to take an aggressive angle without your Winston immediately dying? What do you think?
Oh, actually, I'm right. No, wait. This is the middle of the game.
Well, yeah, you had your Ana defense, yeah.
Yeah, I did want to show the beginning of the game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you want to do it backwards? You just want to keep going with where we're at and then go back afterwards?
Oh yeah. That's fine.
All right, let's stay. I'm on my coaching flow state here, so you got to bear with me. Okay, so yeah,
no problem.
But yeah, you want to have your cake and eat it too, right? So theoretically, look for opportunities to go aggressive. Like right now, heal Winston, but like right now, where's that Widowmaker? Where's that Ana? Where's that Sin? How can I set up? Like for example, right here. So you're throwing damage on Sigma, okay? Pause for a second. Attack even go back 10 seconds. Just press your arrow key back left. Okay, right here. So play, and then... Sorry. No, you're good. Now, play.
You just can't play.
And then pause right now. Okay. Where could you be? Tricky question.
I could climb up right at least.
You could try. Now, it's risky with a Widow, but you could try.
Yeah, true.
You could look for an opportunity, and you'd still be able to heal your Winston. Something to consider. Where's that Widowmaker? Can I climb up top right, use the arch as cover, and heal down to my tank, and look for opportunities to kind of pressure that backline a little bit? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, I'm not saying this particular time this is the big mistake that you're making, but like your mind needs to always be engaged as to looking for these opportunities, right? Because it's really easy to get stuck with what you're doing now. And even though you're doing damage, you're throwing damage on a Sigma, which isn't bad necessarily. It's better than nothing, but it's not great. So keep playing. Winston is really struggling. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like right here.
I was saying.
Yeah, right here. Do you see what you kind of? You see what you kind of did there, right? You look for an opportunity to go up with a Genji. Theoretically, this is an opportunity to go aggressive. Okay, keep going. Winston's N. Can we push off of that? Probably fine with the Suzu. We could use her ult there. Okay. Almost. Suzu? Aw, late in the Suzu.
Dude, I had Suzu.
Yeah. I had Suzu there.
You're good. Keep going.
Yeah.
I think in general, what I would like to see is if there's opportunities or positions that you could take where you're not sitting on main, but you can still do your job with healing and still look for opportunities to damage. Do you see what I'm saying? It feels like you are definitely looking to do damage, but you're not being necessarily proactive enough with how you're positioning around that. I'm not gonna lie though, your Winston is really making things hard though. Very rarely do I say this in reviews, but it happens. That being said, still opportunity.
There are some times where, like, I would say, like, this is like something I feel with Kiriko and Lucio specifically.
By the way, can you pause for a second? Can you pause for a second? Because I want to talk about this. Go back 10 seconds and then continue your thought.
So this is I have this like feeling on Kiriko and Lucio where I feel like sometimes it feels like, you know, with my tank in the lobby and like the elo I'm in, it's just not realistic for me to get sometimes the value from that you know, from that character, because, you know, it like we take more damage, you know what I'm saying? We're less organized, you know what I'm saying? So like those two characters get that kind of like debuff. So you know, and I shouldn't be healing the Winston that much with an Ana on my team. I should be able to like weave.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know, it's different.
I guess so, but I think that just comes from a bad understanding of the hero, to be honest with you. Because you have equal opportunity to go aggressively with Kiriko as you do with an Ana, or with the Zenyatta, or with the Lucio. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking about what you do is you're focusing on only the team support aspect of the hero, and you're like, oh, my team sucks. But at the same time, think about the things that you could be doing with Kiriko right now that we talked about. So like play this out real quick, and I'll pause at a specific point where this applies. So you could still heal your tank. Okay, now the tank's out of LOS. Now your tank's diving. Pause now. Do you see how much better this angle is, this position was, than if you just followed your Winston down main?
Yeah.
This is something that you've not been exploiting enough, right? And this is, in Kiriko, what you just did with Kiriko, Ana and Zenyatta could not do. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're playing this like a Lucio side of things, okay, Lucio could dive this Ana, no? Like, absolutely, right? And do it better than any other support besides Kiriko, right? So do you see how, like, you're looking at it from a very one-dimensional viewpoint of the hero that you're playing? Oh, Kiriko does a lot of healing. This tank is just feeding, so therefore I'm not using it. But that's not just only what Kiriko's good at. She's also can take really good aggressive positions, right? She has a really good playmaker like cooldown, right? So I don't know. This is good, by the way. All that being said, what you're doing right now, controlling this angle, being proactive, helping your tank, this is great. Let's play.
Sure. Before I was kind of sitting in main, like I'm a Zen.
Yeah. You were still damaging. You weren't heal botting, but like, it's just okay.
Playing Kiriko from a Zen position.
Right, and even Zen would look for opportunities to do stuff, right? Like, look at what this Kiriko is doing. I don't necessarily agree with it at the time. It feels like the fight's lost, but she's got the right idea. No other support can do this. You know? No other support has that level of, like, mobility, right? Okay, let's skip 10. I think that's the right... I think that's 10 seconds with Twitch, 5 seconds with YouTube, I think, with the arrow key. Again, what you're doing right now, right? Go back up. Go back up.
Oh, sorry. We said go back.
No. My bad. There you go. Right. Oh, there's somebody there. Okay, I can't play there anymore. I can still threaten. Now I've scouted it. Probably didn't need to Suzu that,
like
just
that.
based off his positioning. Yep. That's okay.
I really like hitting these left with his right.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. Pause for a second.
Yeah.
Is this where you should be positioned right now?
No.
Okay. Why or why not?
I think I would be better off positioned over in that like courtyard thing.
On the
or
left, to our
top.
left? Yeah?
Yeah, to our left on the other side of the payload with the payload as cover.
Why? Why would that be better?
Because I wouldn't be like, I have a different angle on this Winston and he would be blocking like everything.
Sure.
Like I wouldn't like just.
Are they still in
you know,
Widowmaker?
And I would probably see a lot more too.
Sure. Are they still in Widowmaker? Something to consider. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like where if she has good sightlines on you, maybe that position's too open. Like I don't think this position is necessarily optimal, but in this situation, at least it feels like the positions that you want to take are somewhat contested. Like you tried to go top, but they just stuffed you. Okay.
Yeah, they were up there. Yep.
Okay, unlucky. Go next. But at least you tried, right? At least you gave it a scouting and you forced them to hold here. And the funny thing is here too is look at this Orisa. Who has sightlines on your team right now? On the enemy team?
See, Winston, me, pretty much everybody should see this Orisa.
Yep. Yes. And it's only Orisa on the enemy team, right? Yeah. So theoretically, this isn't too bad, right? So what I want you to do is not just to be like, oh, I need to be playing aggressive, taking angles, flanks all the time. Look at the situation. Right? Can I take those aggressive flanks? Okay, I can't, so I'm going to do the best I can with where I'm at right now. Where you're at right now, you can farm this Orisa, you could heal your tank, and then still be looking for opportunities to go aggressive. So let's see if we do that. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't just assume that I have to be going perma-aggressive 24/7 if the enemy team is doing their best to stop you. Keep playing.
Yeah. Ooh, what was that? Is that a fair? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so. Okay, there's the Primal Rage. Now, right now, you're thinking, especially if they're not on Widowmaker anymore, where are they at? Where can I go? Oh my gosh. Ha, good. You see how the Orisa died? Because she's got no support. They're all focused on you and your Winston. Okay?
I
mean, it's all right, right? You guys gonna walk
It's
forward
all right.
with it? It's
I wanted us to win with this, but like I feel like they could have used it better.
yeah,
But also,
yeah.
I don't know if that's me being.
Well, let's
you know
go
what I'm
back.
saying?
Let's go back. Let's go back. Why was this ultimate? Why are we making these like little grunting noises? We're not sure this ult's good or not. Why? Where are the enemy team?
So my idea was like, okay, we could go down. I think one, I could have placed it better, even
Okay.
though I think the timing is right. The second thing is, I still think even with how bad it was placed, we could have walked out main like my Genji, me and my Genji, and we could have killed more people out in the open. But
Okay. I think it's really truly just placement. I think you could have walked forward a little bit further before placing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But let's play this out because I have a question once we get to a certain point in the spot here. So it doesn't reach far enough. You see that up there? Go get him. Why are you here? So like, my thought process is as soon as that BAP jumps top left, go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Your hero does that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now we can just focus Orisa. Okay. All right. Winnable. Yep. No other support can do this besides Lucio. Lucio doesn't do this as well.
Shit.
Oh, he's low.
If the Genji landed a little poke, he would have known and probably killed him.
Yeah.
Preload?
Nice. Winston's in. Now pause right now. You see it? You're doing it again. Go back. It's a very small thing, but it's very important. Your Winston jumps in. You want to help, right? Where should you go?
Ooh, I can climb up. I can just climb right there.
Dude, I think there's somebody on high ground here. If not, you have a better angle in shooting backline, right? And it's a safer angle too. Yeah. You've got great vision. So why are you running it down mid? You know? This is the same thing that was happening on first point. You run it down mid. Play it up.
Yep.
Like right there, top right. There's somebody up there. Shoot him. Below their head. I think it's a BAP. Yeah, your Genji's diving the BAP, right? In fact, your Genji does your job for you. He clears the BAP. Nice. Get him. Nice. You still got the mechanics. You still got it. Not washed. If you lose this 1v1, you're washed.
Yeah,
I'm just messing. All right,
that wasn't the one we wanted anymore.
Skip it. Yep, seems good. All right. Yep. He needs help. He needs help. Yep. Now, pause. Probably worth taking some pot shots at the Cassidy here, right? And then, what do you think in positioning-wise? Once again, this top left thing is where you're at now is fine for now because you're going to try and blow this guy's head off. But when you get a chance, let's see if we can get set up top. Right? Ult's fine. Healing was fine. Positioning now is fine. Let's see what we do with it, though. Oh my gosh.
That's a bold move by me.
That's a bold move, yeah. Hey, you got the kill. Let's listen. I got no complaints if you hit the shots. That's the best that
I will say though, I was aware of the bubble, but that's still like
like, you're good. I think we capped this. Oh, nice. Okay. Survive that shield. Oh.
My bad.
Shit. Yeah. I think you guys capped though. Right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Surely you do.
Surely.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so let's pause for a second here. So, what are you seeing so far? I really don't think a Kiriko is too bad. I like, you definitely had a little bit of that bloodthirst. The Suzus weren't always great, but that will come with time. What needs to be worked on? What is your checklist here for Kiriko?
I would say sometimes I could be in a better position.
Okay, what about your position could be better?
Specifically to take advantage of in an aggressive capacity. I think I position
the
pretty
mobility.
well Yeah, I'm pretty good in response. Like I feel like I'm really well positioned in response to like what my teammates are doing, but there's a lot more that my character could do individually
Sure,
sometimes.
sure, sure. And it's not
That
just the aggression either. You'd feel safer in those spots too. So I think
yeah.
utilizing your mobility more, being a little bit more proactive with it, and then continuing to work on your Suzu, whether the target needs it or not, I think is big.
Even how I die at the end is kind of like
Right. It's
if
a
I'm playing
proximity
for
thing.
myself, if I'm playing for myself, like if I stopped and asked myself, hey, is this like before he throws that that thing that sticks me to the
Yeah, the
floor,
suck.
this yeah slow like I could be. Am I in the best position? I'm not.
Right.
Kiriko doesn't want to like be there. I don't want to be there.
Right. Right.
So and I understand that. So I should not be there. That's
Sure.
one thing.
Simple as that. All right, let's check out the defense with some Ana. We've got about 10 minutes, so let's crank through this.
Okay. 116.
From what we're seeing, it was pretty fast.
Yeah.
Not good. That's okay.
One. Okay. 111 about.
Yeah. Where's UI? UI disappeared.
That was
Previous game.
too far.
2 and 9. I did not see that stat line.
You said 2 and 9.
You soldier. Okay, let's see how we do. So, Ana, same thing, right? It's the same thing. The only difference is that your strengths and where you put out offensive pressure is just a little bit different, right? You don't get the mobility buff, but you hit like a truck with a nade, right? And Sleep Dart is obviously monstrous ability if you can land it. So let's just see how we do. But everything revolves around like getting that utility, putting out that pressure as much as you can, whether you're on Zen, whether you're on Moira, Mercy, doesn't matter. It's like maximizing that pressure, maximizing that utility. Okay, let's see. You have a Kiriko as well, which means that you guys got a lot of healing, so there's more stuff opened up to you offensively.
Tracer coming behind you.
I always like throwing that nade, but not always.
Yeah, you're a little late. It's fine. Okay. Sleep for recalls, okay. Pause. Meaningless nade.
Yeah.
Even if it hits, who's there to follow up?
Nobody's there to follow
Marissa?
up.
Barely? Maybe? I mean, I don't know.
There's tons of people that could probably get rid of
Right,
it. and
right.
They have I haven't seen any abilities used that would say that they wouldn't be able to get rid of it.
Exactly,
Like, yeah.
exactly. I mean, even if they could get rid of it, make them use the Suzu to get rid of it. Not just, we're good. We don't need to use anything, right? Be like very hyper aggressive. Even if it's a defensive nade, have something, like have a purpose. You know, so much of Overwatch is just having a purpose with what you're doing. Keep playing. Like that Sleep Dart was for the Tracer. There was a very high percentage that lands, forces recall. Okay. That nade was disastrous.
Ana, please. Oh my god, dude.
I'm sorry, the Tracer is on our fucking Kiriko dude.
Alright, go back, watch this again. Go back and watch this again.
Yep.
Ana,
Your
please.
Genji's weeping.
Yeah.
But what's the
see.
problem here? Let's be objective about this. What's the issue? Keep playing. Bad. So no pressure, which gives them a window to push, right?
Yeah. Into
Okay.
Discord. Fuck.
And let me ask you another question. Keep playing. I lied. I lied.
Ana, please. Oh my god, dude.
I'm sorry, the Tracer is on our.
I honestly think you're okay. I think the nade is the biggest egregious mistake there. I think you could argue positioning meant that you didn't have good LOS. However, you did have good LOS in your Genji.
I did. And that's why he's mad because based on where I was, I should have been able to heal him.
Well, you should have
That's
trusted your Kiriko to be able to TP out if she needed to, or Suzu out if
Yeah.
she needed to. So that's a little bit of a micro thing. We don't need to worry so much about it. I'm more annoyed at the nade. Let's keep watching.
Got it. Wasteful nade. Didn't really think about it at all.
Yeah. Just didn't do anything.
I think it's good for me to say this. I do this a lot on a lot of different characters.
Sure.
With the pre-fight wasting one of my like signature abilities before anything
Well,
dangerous happens.
do you get
like-
it back by the time the fight actually is close to starting? If you
You
didn't
know,
spawn, are you gonna
no.
have it again?
This is an example. Like no, I didn't know. It's probably why it's
Right.
so bad, and
Right.
risky. In
But
the
if you were to
first
nade
place.
spawn, I'm okay with that. You'll have it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
got
let's keep going.
I think that's what that's okay. Yeah.
There's a very clear difference between them. Oh my days.
I'm saying like I'm blessed.
Yeah. You got the unshootable head. Okay. Care. Play that corner.
I want them to do something. I should just say in voice chat, can we go up there or something? I should say something.
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can also be the guy that responds to what your team is doing. So if your team wants to hold low, be the best low holder in the history of the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like be the best cover, land every cooldown, land every nade. You're cooked. I don't think this was too bad. Maybe a little bit of a discipline with the corner at times, but I think you're all right. Keep going. If they land a pulse, you know, it ain't that deep. You know, they land a pulse. That was a good pulse, yeah.
When I get pulse, I always just I look at it purely from the perspective of like how I was moving.
True. Was your movement good? Yeah, yeah.
And I wasn't moving like terrible. Like I wasn't obvious.
No. It was all right. Like right here, you forget the Widowmaker. That's stupid. But let's go back again. What should you be doing right now? Pause. You see it?
So I should be trying to get this nade to my Orisa.
Oh
I think.
yes. Oh yes. And you should not be scoped in front of a Widowmaker. You forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot.
So we can pull two things from that: lack of urgency on a huge nade opportunity, and also you forget they're on Widow. But Anna, you got to know if they're on Widow Tracer too, right? So you got to know where they are at all times, because that completely changes how you play, right? If they're on Ball, same thing, right? If they're on Sombra, same thing, right? There's a couple of things that you always got to be aware of. That's kind of lame. That's also kind of lame. Like
sleep or
well, let me ask you a question. Go back. Did you really truly aim this sleep as best as you possibly could? Okay. Maybe not. Okay. What about this nade? Was there a lot of thought and effort put into this nade?
No, there was none.
None. Sleep dart on the fence. Nade, absolutely not. Garbage. Right?
I would say I think that I might be wrong, but I think based on like what I think I would try to make a play with that sleep. Like, oh,
then we're good to go. That's fine.
But
That's
the nade
fine.
is brainless.
Nade is brainless. Because right now, this is your opportunity to walk forward and find a nade, right? You don't got it.
Yep.
So, where's that Widowmaker right now? Do you know? You know? Because that's very important, isn't it? Nice sleep.
I don't know
brainless.
about the
Brainless.
I think it was worth.
You know what I'm saying? Not worth at all. Not worth at all. Sit on that nade, find that tracer, find something else, sit on it. Like, there's a very consistent pattern here.
Yeah.
You're just not putting a lot of effort or focus. And so much of my coaching with every hero is about attention. It's that tunnel vision, right? Tunnel vision on that nades. Tunnel vision on, do I know where that Widowmaker and Tracer are? Because a lot of your deaths are from either just lazy cooldown usage. That nade is horrible. You had no idea who you were nading there, did you?
I was trying to get the Genji. I was
You
trying to
were?
get the Genji.
Alright.
Yeah.
No, I'll cut you some slack. But we need that level of attention all the time. Where's that Widowmaker right now? You know what I'm saying? Where's that Tracer? Where should you be right now?
Do I walk to it? No, I don't.
No,
I think
you
I should
don't.
go probably top.
You should stop top. You should start top left, and then if Widowmaker's sightlines get hot, maybe rotate.
Tracer coming to you.
This is an interesting position. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right with this. Maybe we make a play from here.
Keep an eye out.
All right. Let's see what we do.
See somebody through the glass.
Yeah. You know what she's doing? Okay. Don't waste the nade. Let's find something to do with it. He's got bubble. Wait. There's the bubble.
Ooh.
Good. That nade had purpose, right? We're gonna force recall with it. Okay. Love to see it. Nice sleep. Let's see what we do with this nade.
I tried to get him. I missed.
Unfortunate, but you missed. We can deal with mechanical mistakes, right?
Yep.
Well, we don't like mental mistakes, because if you mess up the mechanics but you're focused, then you'll do better next time mechanically. If you're not even trying, your mechanics will never get better. Okay.
I'm saving it for Genji.
Okay, they're on Widow Tracer again. Where's that Widow? Where's that Tracer, right? Always thinking about where they're at. Your biggest threats on the enemy team, you need to know where they're at. Checking behind us. I love to see it. Yeah. Nice.
Ana.
I don't even know where the Genji is.
So focused on one.
Wow. Yeah, try to sleep him, but timing.
Good nade. Nade misses again. Winnable. Maybe not winnable. Okay, so just a little bit of a lapse of focus. Is that it, essentially? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's like a lapse where I'm using some of these abilities, just not.
Yeah, exactly.
No consideration whatsoever.
Right, exactly. And a lot of how you were positioning with Kiriko felt very like autopiloted. Your autopilot isn't good enough. Right now, your autopilot with your auto cooldowns isn't good enough. So we need to put a little bit of our tunnel vision on that to do a little bit better with it. Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. That's one of the biggest things I notice as someone like you would take a break. There's a lot of things that you didn't think about that you took for granted as not thinking about. Like,
so let's look at this really. Kiriko, consider positioning, leverage, mobility. Was there anything else with Kiriko that you think that you needed to work on?
Other than being, I could definitely be a little bit more cognizant of when I do and don't have Susan in some cases where I could just save myself. I'm very cognizant generally of like other people, but when it's like, oh, I could just save myself here by just throwing out a gun. I need to get better.
And what are the two skills with Ana that need to be improved on?
I need to be more cognizant of my ability usage, like have a purpose. Not just throwing stuff willy-nilly with specifically with my nade. I did do that a lot.
Yep.
And that's such a big deal because that's like by far my best.
Yeah, 100%.
Answer to anything that happens to me. So.
What else?
And what was the other thing?
Talk about the Widow and Tracer. Remember?
Constantly understanding, like knowing like where you're like the dangers are, being constantly aware of them and positioning. Actually, I think on the second part at the end of Dorado.
Yep.
I think you know how I was standing behind the payload.
Yeah.
This was like 3 days ago. I think it was because of the Widow. My idea was that the Widow would because the Widow's over there that corner. In my elo, that little by the Mega and the two Megas next to each other.
Yeah.
That's where the Widows usually hold.
Yep.
So that's like, but if I, for example, in that fight where I died earlier, if I had known, okay, there's a Widow, maybe I'd come out right.
Sure. So you are thinking about it some.
I see so much more.
Yeah. You are thinking about some sleep, some nades, but it needs to be more. And remember, when we practice these things, it's one at a time, right? So we got to figure out which one of those two things for Kiriko, which one of those two things for Ana becomes the prio for this week, for today, for the next 3 or 4 days. Work at that, see a little bit of improvement, build up that autopilot a little bit, upgrade it, and then move on to the next thing. And then maybe have a day where you don't focus on anything, you just play for fun. Does that make sense?
The two glaring ones I could say, like I want to work on, I want to get more value out of my nades.
Yes.
A lot more value. I want to, a lot more value. The timing, the everything.
Yeah.
And then also, for Kiriko, my prio, because I have a long list, but I can prio things. The prio is I want to focus on positioning aggressively. Well, not positioning aggressively specifically, but
sure.
Positioning better for myself.
Sure.
To make plays with Kiriko specifically, and not just depending. Because I feel like a lot of ways I definitely depend on, like you'll notice in that game also I do a lot of I do a pretty good job of teleporting to someone else making an aggressive play.
Yes.
But I need to. There are plays I can make as he's not a spectator character.
Yep.
So that's what I want to do.
Yep. Makes sense. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Questions. This is honestly, I'm looking at my notes and there's Not a lot of questions I have.
Perfect. Well, if you do, my DMs are always open, mate. And then also the new thing for you. So for students, if you have a replay, let's say in the next week or day, month, whenever, send me the replay code and give me like 4 timestamps from it, or a Twitch VOD, right? And just be like, hey, what should I have done here? How do I play versus this? Or what do you think about this? And I'll give you some written feedback in a day or so. Sound good?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, mate.
Thank you
Keep
so
in
much.
touch. You are very welcome. Like I said, the big thing for you is going to be about like your training quality, right? I think the thing we talked about the first half of the VOD, probably the most important thing for you to work on. But yeah, good luck, mate. Really good to hear from you again, and keep in touch with how stuff goes. All right.
Would you mind touching on that part again? So my understanding was basically we want to basically be more specific with where I'm putting my energy.
Yes. Yes.
Try to do my full warm up, get
Yes.
fully hot, focus on what I want to improve on for 4 hours, and then
Sure.
generally that's about the time I have.
Yes. Yes.
To really push myself and improve, and then chill.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That was pretty
Give 100%. You got the attention there. You need to have intention with what you're doing with that energy too, though. Like, what am I doing with that, right?
That's gonna be a good one. Intention in all caps.
Yes, intention. Play with intent. Stress test, limit test. Play too aggressive, play too defensive, but be accomplishing and learning something while you're doing it. Don't just play through the motions. All right, mate. Good luck. Keep in touch. And